What do you want to be? Who are we? What are we going to give birth to that's new during this revolution?
Hello, I'm Tatiana Pile, and today I have a phenomenal group of Black panelists here to talk about the state of Black America. We're going to begin with Alysha P. She's a cinematographer and co-host of the Black Girl podcast. Ashley Akunna, who's the host and producer of The Grapevine. Donovan Thompson, who is a panelist and producer of The Grapevine. And Doyin Richards, best-selling children's author and keynote speaker. The question that remains is, where do we go from here to ensure this movement is not just a moment? What do we say to our children, and how do we navigate conversations with closed-minded people, and especially our coworkers? Anyone who wants to start this off, because I know it's multi-layered, feel free to go in.
I think for us, since we do this weekly show called The Grapevine, where we talk about, the Black perspective from a millennial and Gen Z, we really focus on the diaspora. That means African Americans, that means, Africans who have come here, Caribbeans. It's just keeping this conversation going. And so many Black people have things to say. So for us is, this is not just a moment. We have to keep pushing. And I think these corporations, again, who have made these statements, it's up to us to keep our eye on them. It's up to tell them, we see that you guys aren't hiring Black people. You are paying lip service. So whether or not they listen to us, I don't know. But I do think that something is changing. I don't think that COVID happening and this happening is a coincidence. I think that this change that's happening is something that we have to consciously continue. We know that a lot of media companies aren't covering the protests anymore, but they're still happening. Yeah. Every week, there's a new video of someone being mistreated, being killed, being beaten up on camera. We have to continue to keep these stories at the forefront.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just want to add to that, is more so in terms of Blackness, for a very, very long time, I think that Blackness has been identified by other people. White people have been telling our stories overwhelmingly. We have been seeing very specific images of Black people. And I think that we spoke about it before, mental health, we spoke about therapy, we spoke about education, a couple of these points that will keep the train going. But I think more so than anything, it's about this. We have to think about legislation and all politics and the election and all those kinds of things, of course. But the actual click that has to happen within us to make sure that we get to the polls, to make sure that we're ready to intercede, to make sure that it doesn't take the NFL to change their mind, but a real protest from Black people to change their mind. We have to think about how we move more organizationally, more functionally as we begin to reimagine what this looks like for us. Because for right now, we have been accepting a lot of scraps, and that has been sufficient. Because a man's life was taken, and that lens, through whatever conscious effort, universal effort there was to amplify that, we have an amazing opportunity. I think that it is something that's really, really important for us.
Right.
I have two things. The first thing is piggybacking off of what Donovan said, and the first thing is accountability. I'm hopeful because of accountability. I think a lot of people are starting to be put on Front Street, and accountability is something that they have no choice but to come face to face with.
Right.
Donovan mentioned the NFL. Roger Goodell absolutely had to sit in on a Zoom call and say, I was wrong for not allowing, I'll say his name for him, Colin Kaepernick, to peacefully protest about the exact thing that is turning this country upside down. Once you're on Front Street and everyone is watching and you have the choice to either choose accountability or not, if you choose the latter, you already know what's going to happen. I couldn't agree with you more, Donovan. Because of accountability, we're going to be able to see a change and an awakening that I don't think we ever anticipated happening, especially in the way it's been happening. Like Ashley said, the parallel of a pandemic, an uprising, and a revolution is not by any means a coincidence. We needed to be this still and stuck in our homes so that we can look ourselves in the mirror, so we can look ourselves when the TV is off. You have no choice but to be attached and to see yourself. So because you're seeing yourself so often in your four walls, accountability happens, and you have to sit in front of that Zoom call and say, hey guys, I'm sorry. So that's one. Two, I think I am also hopeful because our Black creatives are capturing the content as it's happening, and it's telling a story that will forever be told the way it should be. And I can't thank people, Black people specifically, enough who are creating this content and allowing this content to live and be told in such a beautiful way, whether it's through word or whether it's through video, whether it's through song. There's no way. If anytime you think about a revolution, you always think about the parallel with like music and photography and photo, and that's still happening now. So I'm hopeful simply because I think our Black creatives are doing us a great service by, you know, using whatever art they have to assist with telling the stories, to assist with keeping people comfortable, to assist with keeping people mad, to assist with keeping people sane. All of those avenues, in whichever way they choose to use their platforms, they're choosing it in such a diligent way that's allowing us to propel forward through all of this beautiful chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
Doyin, I know we've talked about a few times you being a parent, and a lot of the things that we've been doing now, these building blocks that we've placed, we hope that the next generation, you know, don't have to struggle to go through the things that we have. So for your kids, you know, like, what do you tell them in preparation for them to live in this new world?
Quite frankly, like, my kids are young, so they're 9 and 7. They have an idea of what's going on, but I'm not trying to hit them over the head with this. As Black girls, they're going to see it from two sides, the misogynistic standpoint and the racist standpoint. So I'm just trying to like let them enjoy their life and their summer right now, but it is going to hit them. But one thing I will say, to an earlier point, is one thing that really makes me hopeful is all the points that everyone's making are so spot on, especially the fact that the Black voices are really stepping up right now and seizing this moment. But also, this movement cannot be successful unless we have good white people on our sides to move it forward, to help us. Because quite frankly, before, there's so many people who were so just asleep at the wheel when it came to this. And they're like, I mean, y'all know how many people didn't even know what Juneteenth was until like a few days ago. Like, I mean, what is this Juneteenth? It's amazing. This is so wonderful. It's crazy. So, and it was to see that people are waking up. And there's this one quote that I saw on social media today. I don't know this brother, but he said, I'm looking at my other screen while I read it. It says, white supremacy won't die until white people see it as a white issue they need to solve rather than a Black issue that they need to empathize with.
Talk about it.
And that is the realest of real talk out there. And I really feel like there's a lot of white people who are willing to step up and listen and not lead. So often white people want to be allies on their timeline, on their schedule, on their terms, but no, it's our turn to eat right now. And you guys are going to be listening to us and how we go about things. And if you want to follow us and make the world a better place, you have to be with us. You can't be in front of us. You can't say you're going to do it this way or this is the white way to do it. It's our turn now. And you're going to listen to us and how we do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we can all agree that allyship and accountability are going to be important steps in order for us to move forward as human beings and dismantling all these social constructs that honestly were never put in place for us to begin with. So again, I thank you all for your time and joining me in having these important discussions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.